Hi. So today we're going to be looking into a very interesting subject, and I want you to understand that just because you are brought out of any situation, wherever it is that you've come from, your family, your background, doesn't mean that you cannot rewrite the programming, right? And to kickstart this, I want to first address the beginning of all things, right? Beginning of all things that has to do with anything, taking action, success, because I've discovered that when you go on YouTube, when you try to seek help on personal development, trying to fix your money, trying to fix your mental health, trying to do all of these things, everybody says everything, but they don't break it down to you in steps. Because I discover that if you're anything like me, one of the things that holds people in confusion is not because they want to be confused. It's just that the way we learned things while we were in school was we learned it in steps. We taught to step one, step two, step three, step four. And so it's the same format that people would need. I'm sorry, you're going to be hearing a lot of dog barks behind the scenes. That girl is just such a noisemaker when she's upstairs. But the first thing you need to fix is going to be your belief, right? And that's the beginning of everything. And you should not be concerned with so many things if you are not yet concerned with belief. And I'll tell you why. Belief is the beginning of all things as regarding action, as regarding achieving anything. And I want to make you understand that it's not affirmations, right? Affirmations is a form of belief, right? It's a form of inducing belief or getting yourself to believe. But then it's not just limited to affirmations. And belief is not an abstract term. It's not something that um, is abstract or it's not practical. It's just, okay, I should believe. Okay, now I believe. I want to reference a very funny movie, Skeleton Key. It was referred to me by my cousin. I'll ask him if I can name drop his name, maybe in the subsequent future. I'll name drop his name, but then it was referred to me by my cousin. Um, that's the movie Skeleton Key. A lot of you guys listening to this have probably not watched the movie, and I'm not in any way advocating that you watch the movie. It's a horror movie, yeah, but it had a very funny ending where the whole thing was where they had a woman that was supposed to these two black people in the past that used to perform all this hoodoo and they swap bodies with other people so that for them to preserve their lives. So the other people that they swap their bodies with, um, they they now become paralyzed. So they're now in the body of these people. And these people usually swap bodies when they've gotten old and they no longer like how the body is. So they just swap body with another young person through hoodoo. Now a woman got to their house and the woman was figuring out some things were weird. There were no mirrors in the house and some other things. And just to fast track the story, the woman got to a particular position where she seemed to uncover the mysteries. And by the time I was done with the movie, I had a lot of questions. I mean, just to look for that, it's because of how the ending and it's not like the typical ending of the movie. And I discovered that the whole mystery that she thought she was uncovering was supposed to make her believe, right? Because belief happened to be the most important thing. So by the time she got to the ending and it got to the point where they were going to swap body with the woman, she had already believed everything on the way. There was a lady that was there before her. The lady left, right? The lady that was black, she left, and she did not. Nobody held her back. So the other white lady that came in to work as the maid for the woman was busy trying to figure out the mysteries and in turn was believing. And then at the end, they made it very clear that it's when you believe that you give power to that reality, that you give power to the ability to even for them to even swap bodies with you, right? And that is exactly what I want you to understand. That faith is the power that we have as human beings to bet any reality. And sometimes you watch some of these YouTube videos that tell you exactly this thing I'm telling you, and then you don't believe. You think it's just a fallacy. And it's not just you don't believe what they're saying, it's just that you don't believe that you are capable. You don't believe that you also have the ability. You don't believe that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't see the success. You don't see the person that can do a lot of things, that can achieve great things in life. And as a young person, and whatever stage that you are in life, you need to understand that you need to be filled with belief in order for you to foster any action, in order for you to achieve great things, in order for you to achieve anything. You must first of all believe. And that's why I created this channel, to address the things that people will not address. A lot of people that are going to watch this firsthand are going to be people that I know personally. Some might laugh, might have very mixed up reactions to this YouTube. But then even me creating this channel is actually um, a proof that I believe that it is going to achieve the goal. I'm not going to share with you the goals that I have for my YouTube right now because it's still early, but I will still do that. Trust me. I think it's very, very important that as a person, you start to look at yourself differently, and what should be your reference point, because it cannot be you. It can also not be your where you're coming from, because a lot of times the real reason why you do not believe and you can achieve great things starts from where you came from. One of the things that I will never lie about is that people think rich people or people that are that the elites, that children are privileged, right? Their children are privileged because of the fact that their parents have money, and then they can now, you get what I mean? But then so they're easily able to get rich. But that's not the truth. The real reason why they're privileged, and if any of the parents don't do this, then they don't have the privilege, because that's why you have people that can, you think they've passed on generational wealth, and the generational wealth is scattered. I mean, is totally um, extinguished by the time it gets to the first generation. The real reason, the real thing that has to be fixed, right, is the education about wealth and money. And that's the one thing that they are taught. One. A second thing is the belief is taught easily, because the rich man has probably seen himself start from nothing. Then he's going to already, the child of that rich man or that rich woman has seen wealth, has seen money. So he or she, the daughter or the son, doesn't like, it's not hard for them to believe that they can also own such things, because they've seen their mom that plays with them, that jokes around with them, that's just a normal human being like them, producing the same result with her flaws. So it doesn't mean that she became perfect for her to produce such result and to control such amount of wealth and power and authority. But when it comes to a middle class person or a middle class background, the average man, is hard for you to believe because you've not seen it. So you're not certain, right? And the truth about belief is, believe, if you're waiting to be certain in, and your certainty is supposed to be derived from something physical, then you're not ever going to be able to birth the reality, because nothing physical will testify of what is to happen. That is the whole, that was what was used to make this word faith. And so if you're going to make a reality, if you're going to create a reality, you have to do the same thing by the same principle by which all of these things came to be. I'm not going to talk about money in this video, but I'm just going to tell you that if it is that you want to achieve anything, because you might be in different stages in your life, you might be trying to write an exam, you might be trying to get a job, you might be trying to get a good partner as a relationship, you might be trying out certain things right now in your life, and you feel that it's not going to happen. You might be in business right now, you're feeling like you're not going to hit your company's target, your personal target, and that sort of thing. But I want to tell you that the first thing you have to do right now, and I'm going to tell you the ways in which you can actually achieve that, is to fix your belief. You must fix your belief. See, a lot of people try to work hard, try to study, try to do all of these things without fixing their beliefs, and you don't understand that It's your belief that captures your standard. That's to say, life organizes itself to suit your belief. That is the most powerful element that you can have as a person when it comes to you commanding realities. Faith is the most powerful. So people looked at him like, okay, wow, this is this and this and this and this and this situation, but they didn't understand that the belief is what keeps you going, right? It organizes you in such a way that because you believe something, it's very difficult for you not to do the thing that um, um, satisfies the principles around that thing. What do I mean by that? Like, I believe I'm going to be a first class student. I believe that I'm going to be a rich man. People think that when you now believe, you will now get to a point of complacency. It doesn't work in the two ways. Because the moment you believe, the next question becomes, why not now? What can I do now that will get me there? Because I know I'm going to eventually get there. So let's just use a practical situation. You wake up in the morning. I don't know whatever vehicle you're going to use to get to wherever it is you're going to go to the next morning. You maybe get your keys out. Probably are going to try to hit the public transport or the BRT, that sort of thing, or whatever it is that you have in your country as the transport medium. You try to hit that, and one of the things that you actually would discover is you first of all believe that you would get there using this vehicle. And that's the thing that you need to understand. If you do not, but then if you look at it from a very, very logical point, there are so many things that can happen that will prevent you from getting there. But the reason why you took action is because you believed. So action does not occur, right? Except one believes. It does not occur except one believes. So for you to think that inaction is going to be product of you believing, it's a lie. It's a lie. I'll tell you from any day, any time, it's a lie. Anybody who has full faith or has faith like of a reality that he's trying to achieve, but or is going towards, is going to propel him into more action. Because now he's certain, because the things stopping you, right? The things that are holding you back from taking these actions are actually this unbelief. There are things holding you back. People think it's someone else that is in the corporation, someone else that is here, someone else that is there. The real thing that is stopping you is actually your beliefs. And it stopped me for a long time from starting my YouTube channel. It stopped me for a long time from doing a lot of things. It held me back while in college. It held me back in a lot of things. But that's why I'm telling you that you need to understand that belief is the beginning of you achieving anything. So now that I've told you all of these things, what can you do? How can you begin to fix your beliefs? How can you start with that? Now, there are different mediums through which a man learns anything. And I want to let you know that there are different mediums through which a belief happens. Remember that I told you that it all started from where you came from. And I promised you in the beginning that you can actually reprogram everything that you've learned such that you no longer look like where you came from. You know, it gets to a particular point. One of the things I want to reference is another movie that I watched. A lot of people have probably watched it, Get Out, where you see a black man act like a white man through some hypnosis. What do you think occurred there? When I watched the movie, a lot of you guys watch movies and then you guys just watch it for entertainment sake or just watch it for clout. But sometimes that's why I don't watch movies without looking at the storyline. I mean, you get, but like when I watched the movie, one of the things that came to my mind was, can is this really possible that I can be in this body, have this current situation, be in this scenario right now in my life, be at this current event in my life, and I could react like the person that I look up to? Because it's the exact same thing happening. A white man in a black man's body speaking like, so the black man is speaking like a white man, right? It's so surprising. And then that tells you that your scenario, your situation has no limit, right? All that has to happen is you have to come in contact with the mediums through which a person can actually begin to produce a different result, irrespective of where it came from, right? And to begin that, the first thing you need to do is get a book. And I can leave down below some references of book that that I think you should get, and just start with one book. When you want to solve a problem, let me give you an advice. Solve that problem once and for all. And don't create more problems when trying to solve a problem. So you just need to start with one book. And like I've said, I've broken this step to the first thing you need to fix is your belief. And the next thing you're going to go towards is you are going to do what the book says. You know, I have to differentiate this because people will get the book and keep it. But that's the only thing they're told. So we're going to break it down, ABC. You're going to get a book. Then you're going to now do what that book says. Right? And the first thing you must always do, and this is why books don't impact people. The people that have never read as many books as you have. So if you're someone that have probably read a lot of books and I'm a nation book that you probably read and your life has not changed, the reason your life never changed is because even any book must be believed. You must tell yourself that I'm going to believe everything, and from the before you open that book, I'm going to believe everything I am told in this book, and I'm going to act according to this way, according to what the book says. Because when you grew up, the things you saw, the things you heard, even if you don't understand or know that right now, affected the way you think today. They affected everything about how you see life, affected everything about how you perceive yourself and people like you and that sort of a thing. So you're going to believe what everything the book says, right? And then you're going to put it into action. The next thing that you want to look at is social media. You need to pay attention to the things that you're feeding yourself. You need to go to places that would begin to give your new faith strength, right? One of the things I would recommend is for you to read From Broke to Millionaire stories, a lot of them. Just keep looking at them, just keep reading them. You discover that people even had it worse than you, that have gotten higher, like are higher than you. Looking at a situation, how could anyone come out from this situation to become a success? You see other stories that are just so organic that it's just all about the person just being the person self, accepting the person self, doing what they're passionate about, and then they arrive to this point. Feast on them, take your time with them, and another thing you want to do is you want to begin to limit the things that, because although by the time you start to read do the first three things I've mentioned already, it's going to be very easy for you to identify informations that reinforce your old beliefs and informations that strengthen your new faith, right? You easily begin to know, and I want you to begin to avoid those things as much as you can. You know, when I'm saying all of these things, people think it's going to be overwhelming, but I want to assure you that you are backed by God. Trust me, you're actually backed by God. Whenever it is that you want to birth a reality, you're commanding one of the strongest realities ever. When you want to birth any reality, you're commanding it. It's like an authority. If you just will not lose faith and believe all through the journey, you actually achieve it. So that's the first. So when you start to feed it, right, allow yourself be like a child again, because that's the only way programming happens. Programming only happens to children, right? You have to allow yourself be like a child again, and then you begin to do the things that I've said. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to stop at these things and I'm going to highlight them right now, which is the first thing: you need to get a book. Why are you getting a book? I didn't even mention that in the first place. You're getting a book because a book, even if you're someone that don't like to read, if you can get the audio version of that book, that's not a problem, but you need to get a book. The book is because when the nature of books is to get you deep in a particular subject. That's why I said you get just one book and you read that book from start to finish. Then the second thing, you have to pledge to believe, to do what the book says, and that cannot occur if you do not. That can only occur when you believe the book itself. The third thing that I said, you're going to look into social media right? Social media. So when you look into social media, you begin to look for a lot of come up stories, broke millionaire stories, and then you begin to feast on these stories. Naturally, by the time you started to get the book, you're reading it side by side with millionaire story, people that have come up from nothing, you begin to now see yourself through them. That if this person can actually come from this situation, and trust me, now there are a lot of people like that. And the truth is, you will see that there is a lot of ways, because sometimes you limit yourself to a lot of situation. But I'm going to talk about the abundance mindset in the next video. That's a promise. So, but I'm just going to limit it now to this particular point of view, that you see there are a lot of wealth of experiences that people have gone through that are some might even be similar to yours. In this sort of thing, you have to be diligent, because you are reprogramming yourself to, you're humbling yourself to become a child again in order for you to address the issue properly. I'm just going to tell you that you have it within you to succeed. You have it within you. You are no different from anybody. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching.